Shalom. This act is our Cal from GMS Germany with a new lesson. First of all, foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor and thanks unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Mills and taught us truth. Peace and blessings, salutations to elect out there, spreading this truth and sincerity, and also charity across the four winds. You know. So back with another lesson. The title gonna revolve around, forsake the world and everything in it to win Yahawashi. Because I was reading the book of Philippians, today, was going into studying a little bit in it. And I was reading Philippians chapter 3 and verse 7, and it says, But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahawashi. Because when you start up, Paul speaks about that he could be confident in the flesh because he knows that he's an Israelite, that he was circumcised, kept all basically the laws, circumcised the 8th day of this, verse 5, Philippians 3 and 5, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, established in the law, a Pharisee. He was even part of the Pharisees, and even when you think about or read the book of Acts, for example, there was also, let me just type it in real quick. I think it was Acts chapter 7, but I want to get it quick. Yes, Acts chapter 7 verse 58, when Stephen got stoned, Saul, which is Paul, was right there, and it says, Acts 7:58, and cast them out of the city and stoned them, and the witnesses laid down their clothes at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul, which is Paul. Okay, so now we go back, Salakia, to the book of Philippians, chapter 3, and verse 5, and it says, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church. So he was so zealous, because he thought it's the right way, that he even started to persecute the church because he was a Pharisee. But then touching righteousness, which is in the law, blameless, But now verse 7. But what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Yahawashi. So all these things that were gained for him, that seemed so gainful and good for him back in the day, before he knew the truth, before Yahawashi woke him up himself even, now he counts him lost for Yahawashi. He forsakes him. He sees them as nothing. And the same thing we should see it. The same mentality we should have. We should be willing to forsake all. We should be willing to forsake the old man, to forsake all the old benefits and all the old ways if we have to for this truth, because certain things where, for example, you was working out, or, certain things didn't hinder you in the truth, working out, having, for example, a car or something. You don't have to cast all these things away, no. But for example, you was committing adultery, you have to cast it away, Maybe it was even before you came to the truth, really a mark or scarf or something. But then the Spirit came upon you and you really listened for the first time. You humbled down and accepted the Lord. Or rest of the Lord accepted you and brought you in. Let me say it like that, So all these things are there, and all these things, are happening. I already said, you had these things before, and they were gain for you, You found gain in the smoke, and you found gain, in committing adultery. You thought this is nice and things like that. It's dope. You found pleasure in that. But now you count the loss because you're like, that's not the right way. Verse 8, this is the point. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahawashi, my Lord. See, he count everything but loss. He sees everything as a loss. He's like, this is all. If I keep doing that, man, I'm gonna lose. And also, he sees it as nothing. Why? That he can gain the excellency, the knowledge of this truth, the knowledge and understanding of the Lord Yahawashi. This is why he sees this as nothing. Because if he clings onto the world and the ways and the false doctrines, then he will not gain the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the Lord. For whom I have suffered the loss of all things. See He suffered the loss of all things for the Lord Yahawashi. And also, what we're going to go later into, the apostles forsook houses, so on and so forth for Yahawashi. And we should arm ourselves likewise, man. Let me get this real quick. It says, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Yahushua has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise in the same mind. For he that has suffered in the flesh ceaseth from sin. See, so we should also prepare ourselves to suffer in the flesh like Yahushua, because Yahushua ultimately, when we read Isaiah 53, Isaiah chapter 53, it goes really deep into how the Lord suffered for our sake, man, that we be able to have forgiveness for our sins, man. You know? So we should arm ourselves likewise and be ready to forsake all. We should be ready to forsake all because Yahushua, you know, wait for 1 second. Here, Matthew chapter 13, let me start verse 53. It says, and it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in the synagogue. And insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence has this man this wisdom? They're like, from where does this guy has his wisdom? And these mighty works, and now listen up closely. Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? So first off, the carpenter's son, so they know that Joseph was his father. You know? It says, and is not his mother called Mary? And his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? So now you have to really understand that Yahushua was a carpenter's son. So don't you think he learned the carpentry? He learned that. So he had money, but he forsook that. He forsook the world to gain the Lord Yahweh. He can follow his purpose. And we have to do the same thing, you know? Because he was the son of the carpenter, man. You know? Here another one, Mark 6:3. Is not this the son, the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph and of Judah and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. Yeah, because he, you know, was of them. This is why it says verse 56, Matthew 13:56, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then has this man all these things? See, so they're like, why has he all these things? They didn't really want to listen unto him. And they were offended in him. But Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save, which means except, in his own country and in his own house. See, so among the people that you grew up with, among the people that know you, they won't see you as a prophet. People from the other side of the globe see you as a prophet, strong teacher. But then your own family members or the close ones that you had in the world or that you grew up with, they think like, oh, now you're the ultimate, the ultimate teacher. Now you're the teacher. Now you're the prophet. Now you're the preacher. I saw you freaking shit in your diapers, man. But now you want to teach me? And the pride kicks in. And this is sometimes also a reason why family members that may come to the truth listen more to other people around, the other brothers than you, and maybe after that they acknowledge it. But this is not here and there, man. We don't need acknowledgement. We just need that the elect wake up and that we just get out of here, man. But the point of the matter is Yahushua was a carpenter, man. So Yahushua even forsook that. So we should arm ourselves likewise, be ready to forsake all. This doesn't mean that you have to cut everything off, but you have to be ready to cut it off when the time comes, because sooner or later they're going to come. Because sooner or later we have to really turn our back on the world, man. Ultimately, really forsake it 100% and be out of here, man. Because they're going to turn on us. And if you want to stick with them, hey, you're going to die, man, because you want to stick to the world. So now we go back. Salakia, go back here to the book of Philippians. chapter 3 and read verse 8 again. And it says, Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahawashi, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung. See, we count. We should see all these things as feces, as shit. What do you do? We should flush to the toilet and forget about it, man. You don't think about like, yeah, man. Yesterday, this and this happened on the toilet. You're not like that. You just flush down the toilet and it's gone, man. And you never think about it anymore. That I may win Yahawashi. See? That he may win Yahawashi. So he did all that to win Yahawashi and be found in him. Not having my own righteousness, so not having his own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Yahawashi, the righteousness which is of the Most High by faith. See, that he can gain the Lord Yahawashi and get the righteousness of him, that he can be saved, that he can make it, man. That I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. See, so he did all that, man, to ultimately receive salvation, man. Because when you keep on reading, it says, verse 12, not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Yahawashi. And read it again. Not as though I have already attained, so not that as he already, received it. Either we're already perfect, he's not made perfect yet, but I follow after that. It's like it. But I follow after, if that I may apprehend, which mean obtain, that for which also I am apprehended of Yahawashi. So, come. So that he basically when he did all that, he count everything done, that he may receive or obtain the thing that was laid up for him. That he obtained the setup and for him of the Lord Yahawashi, which is salvation. Verse 13, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended. See, he's not saying like, yeah, I made it already. But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, so forgetting the past, his former life basically, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, which is the kingdom, which is salvation. That's why it says, verse 14, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Yahawashi. See, he presses towards the mark, man. The mark of what? The mark of salvation. So he pursues the mark of salvation. He runs his race to obtain the mark of salvation. And this is why he counted all down. To win Yahawashi, to win salvation, man. This is where it all leads down to, all boils down to. Let me read the verse 14 again. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Yahawashi. See? And the same thing we have to do. We have to press toward the mark. We have to pursue it, and whatever we have to, cast off of ourselves, we have to cast off. Because think about it, you run a race, right? You run a race, and you have all these burdens. You have freaking 20 kilo vest on, Then you have 20 kilo vest on. You have like 2.5 kilo wristbands on. 2.5 ankle bands on, and then what? You run with that. But if you cast these things off, if you, count them but down and just lose them and just toss them away, basically, count them lost for Yahawashi, to win Yahawashi, you can run the race more easy and be more energized and be faster, man. This is what you have to understand. So you might have to cast certain things off. You might have to cast certain things out, man, while you run this race, that you can keep on running, that you can obtain, that you can receive, man. So be ready to forsake this world. Be ready to forsake the things in this world, because it says Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all, not some, we have forsaken all, and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So, like Paul counted everything but done. Speaking about his past, forgetting about the past, looking, reaching for the future, reaching for the kingdom, you know. And it says, verse 28, and Yahawashi said unto them, verily I say unto you, so he's speaking to the 12 apostles, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is what the apostles, the 12 apostles, going to receive. Verse 29. And everyone that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. See? And this is the same thing. So whatever you forsake, you're going to receive a hundredfold. You're going to receive a hundredfold, man. You know? If you 1 second, I want to look up real quick the word lands. If you 1 second. Let's go real quick the word lands. Wife or children, because other things are obvious as family members, close one, but let's go on the word lands. It says land, the field, the country, a piece of land, bit of tillage, okay, the farm, country seats, neighboring hamlets. And what do you think was land back in the day? It was actually money, man. Because like in the book of Genesis, um let me look it up real quick on my other phone. Bear with me 1 second, because in the book of Genesis, the your riches was weighed in your goods, man, that you had, which is land, cattle, and gold. Let me just look it up real quick. Bear with me 1 second. No, I can look it up. What's on this phone? Forgot. Wealth. Wait. Bear with me 1 second. Salakia. See, it says, okay, bear with me 1 second. Gone. So it's Genesis 13:2, and says, and Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. See, so these were the okay, say the representation of your money back in the day. This was the money back in the day, because you could trade with land, you could trade with cattle, you could trade with gold and silver, you could get gains, So if you're ready to forsake all these things, great riches, so on and so forth, for Yahawashi, hey, and this doesn't mean that you have to be a poor man or something, but you might have to forsake a job for this truth. You might have to forsake, a certain job, or a certain spot in the company for this truth. But you're gonna gain a hundredfold for that, you know. And this is what you have to understand. So we have to count everything but done. We have to, be ready to forsake this world and everything in it to win Yahawashi, man. Leave everything behind and focus on the truth, man. Focus on Yahawashi and the salvation, the kingdom to come. Because going back to Matthew 19 and 29, everyone that has forsaken houses or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive a hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. See? But I want to check out something else also. What? Bear for 1 second. No, gone. But yeah. So now we go also real quick to the book of Matthew chapter 10, and then we're gonna close out. I think it was 36. No. Verse 37, Matthew 10:37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. See? So if you love something more than the Lord Yahawashi, you're not worthy of him, man. So you have to put Yahawashi first, which also includes his ministry, which is his ministry, and also you know, the servants of prophets, basically. They have to come first before anything else, man. You know, before your own family. And even also before your own life, man. Yahushua has to come first. Verse 38, and he that taketh not his cross, which is, the burden, the suffering, and followeth after me, is not worthy of me, man. So hey, that's the thing, man. So be ready to forsake all in this world, man. Be ready to forsake this world and everything in it. Because either you won't make it. Because when you don't win Yahushua, when you're without Yahushua, you are dead, man. So be ready to forsake all, man. But this was everything I got. Y'all wrote us out to the spirit and power, mercy, and grace of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Our prayer and hopes less was edifying. And y'all wrote us out to the spirit and power, mercy, and grace of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash was less than edifying. To the elect, I want to give once again all praise, glory, and honor, and thanks unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. That belongs to the elders and apostles who bless and taught us the truth. Peace and blessings, salutations to the elect that us burn the truth and sincerity. Also charity across 4 winds, man. On to the next one. Shalom.